sausage and shrimp chowder. The ingredients call for it actually called for bacon, but I substituted the bacon for sausage. And then you're going to need some shrimp. The sausage I got from a meat market. You're going to need 4 cloves of garlic, 2 stalks of celery, and then 4 green onions. It also calls for regular milk, but I am subbing for oat milk. And then you got cream, whole kernel corn, cream style corn. You got a tablespoon of butter, flour, and you have cayenne pepper. I added the Sazon seasoning and pepper, and it called for a different herb, but I'm using Italian seasoning. I will put the recipe in the description box. And I'm going to squeeze the sausage out of the casing, and I'm going to cut up the shrimp. So here the shrimp are cut up. All I did was cut it in thirds, and then I squeezed the sausage out of the casing, diced up or minced the garlic, opened the cans of corn, and we are ready to go. Here I'm browning or cooking down the sausage. And this sausage actually has cheese in it, but and it didn't render much fat, so I added a little bit of olive oil. I'm removing the sausage from the pan so that I can actually go into the next step of cooking. So right here, the recipe will be telling you to take out the bacon and drain off the bacon fat, but you have to leave a little bit of the bacon fat in the pot in order for you to do the next step, which is to saute your, you're going to add your butter, and then you're going to saute your celery and your green onion until those are soft. And here the butter is melted, so I'm adding in the celery. And next you'll see me adding in the green onion. And we're going to go ahead and cook those down for a little while. And I wondered if I should turn the camera off during this part, but I decided to kind of just let it go. I'm switching out from a metal spoon. I don't usually use metal utensils in my non-cook cookware, but the issue that I had was my plastic spoons are a little bit, they weren't firm enough to break the sausage up. So here I'm showing you that the celery and the green onion are cooked down. So now I'm adding the minced garlic. I'm going to go ahead and add the spices. It did say for you to add certain spices here. I believe it was 2 of the spices, and then you add the other 2 later on. I didn't see the purpose of that, so I just went ahead and added all of my spices at one time. And usually when I cook, I like to cook in layers, so I would season my food at different stages of the process. And then here you're going to go ahead and add the flour, and the purpose of this is for you to be able to make your base. And so you're just going to go ahead and stir that together, coating all the vegetables with the flour, and then that'll help to facilitate in thickening the soup base or the chowder base. And then here's where you would go ahead and add your milk. And again, I don't drink cow's milk, and I know you're probably saying, well, you added cream. There's a substitute for cow's milk, which is the oat milk I'm using here, or you can use almond milk or whatever other kind of milk you want to use, but there is no substitute for cream. So if there's a non-dairy cream out there, because this is half and half that they're asking you to use after, which is, later on in a step. And I don't know a substitute for half and half. If you vegetarians, plant-based, vegans, or whoever, if y'all know a substitute for half and half, please let me know, because there are certain recipes that I use, and it would be nice to not have to use that. Not because you know, animal cruelty or anything like that, but simply because I'm lactose intolerant, so it takes a toll on my body. So now here all I'm doing is just, you know, I was pouring in the milk in order to incorporate the flour, and the stirring is just to make sure that there aren't any lumps, clumps, bumps, that the base of the chowder is very smooth. And the one thing I will tell you is that the reason my chowder is not as thick as a typical chowder is because I am using oat milk. If you were using dairy, the fat in the dairy when it paired with the flour would make a nice thick base for the soup. But because of the fact that oat milk does not have any fat in it, or you know, animal fat, it's not heavy like regular cow's milk is. So here I'm just going to go ahead and add both cans of corn. I'm not really sure the purpose of using whole kernel corn and cream corn, but that's what the recipe called for. I've never made chowder before, and I really wanted some chowder. I wanted a soup because it's been a little chilly. Woke up the other day and it was like 46 degrees, and I'm like, OMG. But yeah, sweater weather, boot weather, comfort food weather. So this is amazing. So both cans of corn went in, the whole kernel corn and the cream corn. And so now we are going to stir, and I believe it said for it to, once you get all your parties in the pool, it wants you to just kind of let it simmer on low. So this is where I'm sticking the sausage back in, and I loved the balance of the sausage. And the very little seasoning that you saw me add in was okay because the sausage is seasoned extremely well. And so that's what I thought about when I decided to use this sausage instead of bacon, is because you wouldn't really have to use that much more seasoning. And I didn't use any salt there. I'm sure there's salt in the sausage, the seasoning that's in the sausage. And then I used the tablespoon of the Szechuan seasoning, which has a little bit of salt in it. So this dish came out excellent. It wasn't salty, it wasn't over seasoned, it was amazing. And so the last thing that needs to go into this, I believe the next thing is going to be the cream. And then the last thing that goes in is going to be the shrimp. And you add the shrimp last because it takes very little time for the shrimp to cook. So you don't want to put it in and have it cooking the whole time. And then the shrimp are tough. So yeah, here we're going to go ahead and put in the half and half. And then the last thing is going to be the shrimp. And all I did, you know, because my husband wasn't home and I wanted to make sure this was hot for him, is I just went ahead, and I wasn't ready to eat at the time that I was making this, so I just put this on like the lowest possible temperature on the burner and just let it go. So yeah, there all the players are in the pool and everything is bubbling quite nicely, so we are going to go ahead and just let that go. And right now the temperature is a little high, so that's why you see every time I stop stirring, it's bubbling. But as I stated before, that's it. We're going to go ahead and turn that down on the lowest temperature and just let it go. And that's it. Thank you for joining me.